morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So I know I briefly showed this OS 91 FSR engine in a recent video on a swap meet score, but I thought that this engine was so special that it required its own video. And what I want to do is I want to do a quick look inside of this engine for those of you that have never seen one of these high quality engines before. And I was impressed because there were two versions of the 90 size OS FSR. The first one was a 90 FSR, and that came out in 1975, I believe it was, or 78. I just checked it on my OS timeline poster and I've already forgotten. I think it was 75. And that's the only review article I could find. I haven't been able to find a review article on the 91. Now the 91 FSR came out in 1985. Now I have no idea what the production life cycle of this engine was, but I thought it's worth at least showing some closer pictures of it because I don't have this secured in place, because it's just an absolute beautiful specimen and perfect example of the quality of an OS engine from the 80s. Now, like I said, this engine was released to the market in 1985, but I have no idea how old this particular engine is. But let's just assume that it was made, that the production cycle was 10 years, and that puts this at 1995. I have no idea if that's true or not, but let's just assume that. So let's just say that this is a 24-year-old engine, and one of the reasons I want to open the rear cover up is I want to show you what a 24, maybe even older year-old engine that's never had fuel, never seen, you know, flight time or anything like that will look like on the inside, so that those that may be hesitant to get some of these and say, oh, they're all gummed up or whatever, they're not. It's perfect. So let me just pop this carb off and we'll talk a little bit about this carb here in a minute. But in all honesty, I've already pulled this back cover off one time yesterday because I was kind of excited, and each one of these things had a really distinct snap when I opened it up, and that tells me that it's never ever been opened before, and that was how it was torqued at the factory. Now you're not going to hear that snap now because I've already loosened these and removed them before, but trust me, it was like pop, a very distinct snap. And that's exactly what you want to hear. So I'm just going to pull this front cover or rear cover. I'm not going to take the head off. I don't think I need to do that to prove the point of what a 24 maybe year old, maybe more year old engine straight from the factory looks like. Because a lot of people will be like, well, I think I should put oil in it. You know, I've got this new in-box engine, I should probably put oil in it. Well, no, you probably really shouldn't. If it's really new in-box, you should probably just leave it alone. So, like I said, I have not put a single drop of oil in this. All I did was pull this cover off and look at it. And this is what the condition of an OS, an 80s vintage OS engine that's never been touched before will look like. I just did my smell test and it just smells like clean metal. I mean, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. And that gasket is not deteriorated or anything whatsoever. I mean, this is just... So I'm really excited about this, and that's why I felt it was necessary to do this so I could share it with those of you that have maybe never seen one of these engines up close like that, because this is just spectacular. I really couldn't be more excited about actually scoring this, because I had pretty much written off ever having a 90 or a 91 FSR engine just because of availability and price. But when something like that just kind of drops into your lap, yeah, that's a little tough to turn down. You can see here, I mean, it's just spectacular. The casting quality is just absolutely top notch on this. Now, this came with an OS 7D carb,
And the 7D carb has this ball link on it, and it only has 3 controls. And the 3 controls are your high-speed needle, your throttle stop screw, and your mixture adjustment here. Now this is just kind of one of those things where it just kind of varies just a little bit on an eccentric here. And this is probably one of the better carbs that OS ever made also. And the thing I think is interesting about it was in this box that came with it was this little sealed tool set. And the opened end wrench here is a 7mm on one side and a 3.5 on the other. You're like, well, what the hell is that for? This wrench is, the whole purpose of this wrench is for this carb. Is just so you can maintain and disassemble this carb. That's it, because there's no other sizes like that that would be necessary for that. So the 3.5 you use here, the 7 you use here. So this tool set, or at least the wrench, is specifically only for working on the carb. Now there was one other little bag of items in here, and oh, that was another thing I got to show you too, which is really kind of interesting. It comes with a spare woodruff key, a ball link, and then there's these little pins that were actually in the drive hub here, because you could have used it, and that's one of the reasons that I also think this is probably a pretty old engine, is that in the olden days they used to actually have pins in here so you could drill for a prop. But I took that off because I want to show you something else that I've never seen before. I thought it was really interesting, is that, you know, this is obviously a keyed crankshaft. It's got the woodruff key in there, but when I pulled this thing off, it's actually got 2 cutouts for the woodruff key. I'm not quite sure why that would be, because there's not 2 keys, but I thought it was kind of interesting in that there's actually 2 cutouts for the key. So the last thing I want to go through here real quick is the exhaust assembly, which again, getting the engine alone for the price I got was incredible, but you couple that with the complete silencer set too, which is probably worth half of what I paid for the entire thing. This is the 855 silencer set, so it comes with the muffler, the adapter, and then all the screws. I'm not really sure why they felt it necessary to actually put a instruction sheet like that for an exhaust, but they did. Now I had not opened this adapter plate yet. Really was just kind of holding off doing that, but even the exhaust just has this air of quality. Now I found something very interesting yesterday that I also think is worth mentioning, in that I have an OS BGX1 engine, very large, the large big boy engine, and this is the exhaust for that engine, and it has its own adapter plate also. But the thing that I thought was interesting is that both of these exhausts say 855 on them, and that's probably just the casting, the original. I don't know what it is. All I know is that they're not the same. They both have 855 on them, but as you can see, these 2 exhausts are nowhere near the same. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I ran into the same thing just a few weeks ago with the 744 mufflers, and that the 744s were used on the 61 or 60 FSR engine and the 61 SF engine, and again, even though they have the same number on them, they are not the same muffler. The bolt pattern is different. So I just kind of thought that was an interesting tidbit there too. But so here is my nice new beautiful OS 91 FSR engine in the quick look or look inside. I've already had a couple of people from the swap meet video ask if I'm going to run this, and of course the answer is probably hell yes. I will probably definitely run that. I don't know when exactly that's going to be, but I will definitely be running it, and I will be breaking it in with my 80/20
FAI blend fuel. So thank you all for watching, and I just really thought it was important to share. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, thinking about this engine, was the thing that's always going to remind me, you know, another memory that I'm going to have with this engine is that it was a day that I went to a swap meet and met a really good fella, Jim. He lives in Sarasota, which is only about 39 miles south of here. So it was a really great day. It was a great afternoon or a great morning to go out, be out in the sunshine, and chat with a really awesome gentleman. And it was just fun to just, you know, sit and chew the fat with him. And we're sitting there looking at things together, and then we both ended up buying things. He bought a really nice, really nice, large Hangar 9 Cub for 60 bucks, and I was like, you gotta buy that plane because it was really nice. So anyway, it was just an overall great day, and he's a great guy, and I'm really glad I got the chance to meet him in person.